Hello everyone, welcome back to CCSC podcast special episode with full English speaking in podcast episode 5. In this episode, it was the audio record from Department of Sociology and Anthropology seminar. It was recorded in 18 February 2026. Am I a patriotic Chinese, Sino-Thai or spy? By our guest, Assistant Professor Sittithep Eaksittipong from Faculty of Humanities, Chiang University, and Assistant Professor Panitda Saiyarod as the moderator. So, let's start.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our special talk today. I'm very honored to welcome Sittithep. I think many of you might already know him. Let me give a little introduction about Sittithep, and then we can begin our talk today. Sittithep is now currently serves as the head of the Integrative Center of Humanities Innovation, Faculty of Humanities. Right. Of course. And because Sittithep now, actually he had received his Ph.D. from the National University of Singapore and supported by the Howard Yanshin Institute in the US, and he also a research fellow at the Howard Yanshin Institute during the 2016 to 2017. Currently, his research focuses on the Chinese overseas and the transnational and cross-cultural connection between China and Southeast Asia. He is currently working on a project examining the Cold War era academic diplomacy among the United States, Thailand, and China, and also etc. Then we read a few reading that you might consider to follow. In Thai, it's a book named เป็นจีนเพราะรู้สึกประวัติศาสตร์เสื่อมหรือหมอนใบที่เพิ่งสร้าง This is a book in Thai, and there are also many papers in English, for example, the Chinese of Thailand, academic diplomacy, and the convergence of Sino-Thai intellectual nationalism. Another one I think might be a concept that outline one history of emotion of the Chinese in Thailand 2022. I think it's also many other list of reading that you might interest. Without further ado, please welcome Sittithep, please.
So, thank you, Panitda, for the introduction. And every time when someone introduce me, particularly my organization that I'm associated with right now, the center, as a director, I can not even remember the name. Sometimes it's very long. So we are in the process of restructuring it. So anyway, when the Faculty of Social Science, okay, we are doing podcast. So when the Faculty of Social Science contact me to do this lecture series, I thought human and then what? But it is still human agency. I was a bit reluctant what I should talk about, but let's say to create a new research or something new within 1 week would be impossible. And recently we have our program have a very good relationship with the Chinese consulate and American consulate as well. So I'm talking about spy and other thing, intelligent operation, on the Chinese New Year. So to make it balanced, maybe I'll start with American side, because for the Chinese side, we do not have much info that is published publicly about intelligent operation. So if you never know about this, on YouTube, they have this CIA channel. For those who understand Chinese, you will understand the content well. But here's one thing. The video is on YouTube. YouTube is banned in China. So do you think the CIA is not smart enough? So who gonna watch YouTube? Those who buy VPN. And if it's those who buy VPN, that means they don't want to just export the content produced within China. So that is high probability that these people who buy VPN might watch this video and they screen to their normal behavior or something like this. So that means the one who create this video, the organization must have a very insightful knowledge about Chinese politics, culture, and society. And well, if you look at the detail, the Chinese script is well written and it's around emotion that although I try my best to protect myself, my future, my country, but politics play on me. I'm not sure what would happen to my daughter. So I have to do this. I have to leak this intelligence to the US maybe to not just protect myself, my daughter, but the future of the world as well. And it's summarized. So to do this, you must have a solid knowledge about the language, the culture, society, and know everything before producing this video. This video, of course, produced by CIA. And those who work in CIA has certain knowledge about Chinese society and they can speak in Chinese. And look at the details scene by scene. It's like a replica of the military base. So if you look at the news recently, what happened in China that rocked the world, President Xi Jinping start to clean up the PLA, People Liberation Army. Some general has been deprived of their position. And then the CIA start to produce this video. It's not by coincidence. So they watch every step, right? So I think here is the point of departure. To produce this type of intelligence and propaganda which engage politically, well, you need a solid knowledge about area studies. Okay. So unfortunately, we don't have Ministry of State Security video on YouTube. Otherwise, we can watch how Chinese state operate on this. But maybe someday, Ministry of State Security might start to do some competition with the CIA on YouTube. Well, I think that would be great. We know more about intelligence operation. Okay. So if you have some time, I would recommend watching this channel on YouTube. It's fun. Particularly if you have a dream going to work with the CIA. So to be precise, the title "Am I" is not about myself. So I'm not a spy. I'm not patriotic Chinese. I'm a Thai of Chinese ancestry, like the fourth generation already. So I'm not strictly Sino-Thai. So to the record. Okay. So actually, what we try to do today is reflection on identity and Thai study during the Cold War period in China. So it's lingering on my mind for many years how China perceived Thailand and how Chinese academia produce knowledge on Thai studies. Well, to be precise, actually, during the Cold War, or even gone back, even when we start to have a modern Chinese state in Republican era, we don't have a solid Thai study as a separate independent field of study. It's under Southeast Asian study. And the People's Republic of China inherited this kind of academic heritage. It doesn't have a solid Thai study as an independent field until recently with the BRI Belt and Road Initiative, the realization that Chinese state has to compete more in Southeast Asia and around the world. So area studies start to flourish in China and Thai studies start to expand and become in its prototype an independent field of studies. So for at least we have our exchange student when we here got a scholarship from the Chinese government studying about Thailand, and I'll start to be busy going to China like this April, maybe Sun Yat-sen University giving lecture about Thailand. So in the same year, we see more engagement between academia and Thai study in China. and how the Chinese state start to gather more information about the world. I'm not sure how many people read the news about this like intelligent operation and spy. Here we are in 2026, right? But 2024, 2025 is kind of interesting. There was a scandal in MIT, in Harvard, and other places. Like American professor was caught spying for Chinese state. There was this allegation, but then later some people was released, some were condemned. But here, what is the effect to us? Since 2024, it seems, according to this news that start to pop up around the world, academia become more entangled with intelligent operation. Well, I'm not sure, but maybe because it's like the new US president, Donald Trump, maybe more it's like speak on this issue, or maybe it's about political campaign. But at least from the news, we see how the works running beyond the shadow of the CIA, FBI, or MSS, Mossad, MI6, so on and so forth. Now, let's back to China. What I'm telling you today is about what happened in the Cold War, but it might be an allegory or a reflection to what happened now today as well. So, during the Cold War, 1949, we all know that the People's Republic of China, hereafter PRC, was established. And then the PRC had to find friends, not a foe, internationally, because the world is divided into free world camp and communist camp. So, look east. After the Second World War, Japan was occupied by the Supreme Command, in practice led by the US force, and we had US base in Okinawa. Japan was under US nuclear umbrella. And you look at Korea, South Korea, US base as well, nuclear umbrella also. So Republic of China, Taiwan, with a very close relation with the US, the Seventh Fleet, and again look south at Southeast Asia. Thailand was a floating base in a sense for US military. We had several US bases, and even Chiang Mai, if you've been to Internal Mountain on the top, you find the Air Force base. That one was used to surveillance the southern part of China. From the Chinese perspective, they need to find friends, and it's not just by force or export revolution. The knowledge about the world become important, how to engage with Southeast Asia, particularly Thailand. That was the center of the US operation during the Cold War in Southeast Asia. And if you look at the history of Chiang Mai University, we are Cold War University, particularly Faculty of Social Science. So we have an ethnic study, right? And we do that to contain the spread of communism. So that's become clear. And in Chiang Rai and other places, we have those Kuomintang army scattered around the border. So from Chinese perspective, 3 provinces become very important for security. First, Tibet, Xinjiang, and then Yunnan. Yunnan, in this sense, is kind of very important because they need to secure the border between Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, and Yunnan, because we have the Kuomintang army operate around the border area. So they expected to go back to China. And at the same time, China need to increase their presence and influence in Southeast Asia, particularly in Thailand, how to counter the US influence. That's become a big problem. Well, we have the communist channel, the CPT, Communist Party of Thailand, that is closely related with the Chinese Communist Party, support ideologically and with relevant supply. But to deal with the Thai member of the CPT who speak different language, acquire different cultural knowledge and social etiquette is also become important. And to export communist ideology, you cannot just publish it in Chinese, you have to publish those things in Thai. And even cultural activity in the CPT like song, dance, and other ceremony, it needs to be conducted in Thai. So it needs to be translated to Thai. Well, underline this, it is utmost important for the PRC and the Communist Party of China to have a solid knowledge about Thailand. But starting from scratch as it was. So there was no Thai expert who were well trained at that moment in time. Those who associate with academia cynical during the Republican era flew to Taiwan and continued their research over there. In mainland China, they have to start from scratch. What would they do? They need a language instructor who at the same time can read Thai and summarize, translate the reports to the Chinese government, to the party, for them to understand more about Thailand, how to stipulate the policy, how the operation should be carried out. So who's gonna be the Thai teacher? Who's gonna be the one who give a solid lecture about Thai society and culture? Look around. So we have Thai political refugees who support socialism in Thailand during the Cold War, and then they were expelled to China because they could not come back to Thailand when they visit China. So they had to refuge. But here's a problem. These people, they cannot speak Chinese. It took time for them to learn Chinese up until to the level that they can teach Thai to Chinese people. And these political refugees like Ph.D. Panomyong and the father of General Sitanun and others, they did not have a knowledge of Chinese. So they need someone to interpret, to help them on their daily life. The Communist Party was busy in doing this because it's part of diplomatic operation in intelligence gathering as well. Because you can ask these people what happened in Thailand, what is your opinion about the political situation? The answer lies in the return overseas Chinese from Thailand, or in Chinese, Gui Xiao. And I will use this word because it's shorter after this. So the Gui Xiao, to be precise, was those Chinese who was born in Thailand. So they had Thai nationality, but they are of Chinese ancestry. And before the PRC was established, they may go back to China to pursue their study in high school, in the university like Tsinghua, Beijing University, or other places. And then 1949 happened. So they got caught over there. They could not come back to Thailand because Thailand during Pibul Songkram and Salit Thanarat, we are anti-communist, anti-Chinese. So if you come back, you will be jailed. Well, that may be the lightest sentence. Well, if you come back, maybe you'll be excused for being inspired. So these people, they were there in China. So what they can do? So they have this knowledge about Thailand from their own experience because they grew up in Thailand. They can speak Thai, they can read Thai. So some of these people become Thai instructor in university, and some become those cadets who operate in Yunnan, because we also have Thai ethnic minority, and we call it Taichu, Thai ethnic minority in southern part of China, in Yunnan, the Zhuang ethnic minority. These people, they speak a similar language to the Thai people because we are in the same Thai family language. And for the Chinese government to do the operation to propagandize about the new nation, they need to touch the heart and mind of these people. So these Gui Xiao, the return overseas Chinese from Thailand, become a valuable asset to this political operation. So after so many years, I've collected this data. It's kind of interesting. You can only do this when you know both Thai and Chinese. For example, I have these two important figures. One is Xiao Shaoyun, and another one is Yao Yi. So they both write a memoir and other thing in both Thai and Chinese. Here's the interesting part. In Chinese part, they write in Chinese, so there's certain grammar that they cannot avoid. They have to talk like this, follow this narrative. But in Thai, they write with different grammar and with different narrative about themselves, about what they face in China. By grammar, I don't mean language grammar, but mean political grammar. So, who is Xiao Shaoyun? In 1975, we established diplomatic relationship with the People's Republic of China. Deng Xiaoping visit Thailand, and others important political figures from China visit Thailand. They could not speak Thai. Okay, for the Thai part, we could not speak Chinese that well. So if you let each other spoke English at that moment, maybe we could not understand each other. Shaoyun, a Thai-born Chinese who later became a Gui Xiao, was the interpreter of Zhou Enlai, personal interpreter. And then Deng Xiaoping also. And Yao Yi. Yao Yi was instructor at, if I remember correctly, at Guangxi University of Language. And then Before that, he worked in the PLA college in Yunnan as well and did some operation. There's a name of other figure as well, but since the time constraint, I can only talk about these two. And these two people with different position, but around the early 1970s, their fate converged. Did the same project by the order of the Prime Minister then Zhou Enlai. In the late 1970s, we know that the Cold War started to end because the US started to shake hands with China, Nixon, and Mao Zedong and Kissinger. So at the peak of the Cultural Revolution, there was this information coming from the Republic of China whether we should fight back from northern part of Thailand into China, and the US said no, we are gonna establish a diplomatic relation with mainland China. But actually, this part of history, the US contributed a lot to mainland China. 1970, at this context happened, Zhou Enlai start to realize that China will have to contact with the wider world. But here's the problem: after the Great Leap Forward, after Cultural Revolution, the university was stopped for decades. We don't have human resource who are well versed in language. Even though you know language, but you might not know cultural or social etiquette. How to understand these people, how to negotiate in the room for people with different culture. For example, when you talk about the word power in IR, in English, we negotiate about power. Free power, negotiate. The one word power has different meaning depending on context. It's a concept. But in China, in Chinese, the word power has 14 words. ฉวนลี่ลี่เลี่ยงจงเลี่ยง and other things. 14 words. So in China, power is not a concept. It's become a word because you have to use certain word to signify something. What about power in Thailand? อำนาจ. And we don't have this concept of authority, legitimacy in Thailand. Up until recently, we try to do, but we still say everything is อำนาจ. Authorized personnel only ผู้มีอำนาจเท่านั้น. But authority is not อำนาจ. This is a basic fact about language. But language is not just about language interpretation across culture. Particularly in diplomacy become much important. 1970, the government started this project in 1970. They start to produce dictionary of many languages officially. Thai, Japanese, English, Russian and others in 1970. So in 1970, we have this dictionary of Thai Chinese, which come from the collaboration between Xiao Xiaoyun and Yao Yi and other professor in Chinese university who know Thai, and I would say most of them were Gui Qiao, returned overseas Chinese from Thailand. Because before the turbulent year of Great Leap Forward and Cultural Revolution, at Peking universities, they started Thai major. The staff was like 5 to 6 staff, mostly returned overseas Chinese or some political refugee from Thailand who start to acquire the knowledge of Chinese language. And then later, students start with a small batch of students, like 5, 6, and then become 10. But even nowadays, if you go to Peking University and you go to Thai language major, the student is not that much, not exceeding like 10 or 10 something. And if you go to those like foreign language university like Shanghai International Study University, which is one of important university producing the personnel for Ministry of Foreign Affairs in China, the Thai major only have 6 students right now. So with this small batch of students, they have like intensive training on language. But as we all know, 1949, everything started from scratch. They did not have textbook. They did not have what we call TQF, Thailand Qualification something, right? So in every university around the world, nowadays we are crazy about quality assurance when it comes to curriculum design and other thing. At that moment in China, we did not have this thing. We did not have structure, how to teach, how to develop this material. Everything has to start from scratch. You did it by heart, by the experience that you face on that day. So amazingly, one of the teaching resource come from voice of the people of Thailand. That's the radio. So before the internet, we have a radio, right? The CPT has this radio. The station was first function and based in Vietnam, and then because the political reason, it's moved to southern part of China in Yunnan. So we have these people doing the propaganda about Communist Party in Thai to the voice of the people of Thailand. So that is not a pure propaganda. At the same time, it become a teaching and learning material for students. At the time, the students learn about this thing. They also learn about communism. In a nutshell, Thai study from its inception in the People's Republic of China entangled deeply with politics, and it's highly politicized. And even the translation of a classic book like Mao Zedong thought that need to be translated into Thai. This involves these people return overseas Chinese from Thailand, or even those political refugees who later became Thai instructor at Peking University. How these people survive in China? The Gui Xiao became Thai instructor in those universities like Peking, Guangxi, International Study University, and other places, and include those college and university operated by the PLA. And some would become a Communist Party member and work for the International Liaison Department, who welcome delegates in Thailand, who start to take care of people like Pridi Panomyong or other who were in China. And at the same time, they gathered intelligence and do other things that would help as a bridge to connect China with Thailand. So I'm not sure how many people familiar with the history of the Communist Party of Thailand. So if you look at the history of the Communist Party of Thailand, there are those people who went back to China after the Second World War ended. For example, Jit Sanan is the Thai name, and then in his Chinese name is Lin Sanan. And you have those people like Jit Lekawat and other people who are actually Thai-born Chinese, or those China-born Chinese who were sent to Thailand to operate with the CPT. And then after the Second World War, they went back to China and became big political figure dealing with overseas Chinese in Southeast Asia. So these people together, they are the one who form the policy and gave suggestion to the state how to operate in this context of the Cold War, that we try to connect China with Thailand through the export of communism to Thailand, supporting the fighting of the mass in Thailand, the CPT. At the same time, connecting with the Thai political figure to establish a cordial relation. So this kind of like a two track that happened in parallel. So if you look at the table on your right side, it's kind of a summary of those like some of the units that the Gui Xiao I mentioned work with, and the location of course Yunnan. Yunnan is very important. How many people have been to Yunnan? It's nowadays like gateway to Southeast Asia. Here's the thing why Yunnan is important. How many people come from Myanmar? I have a student from Kachin state in Myanmar, but you know that Kachin is an ethnic minority group in Yunnan. You have a Chan state in Myanmar, Chanju, right? Ethnic minority group in Yunnan. Taiju, the Thai ethnic minority group in Yunnan. Tibetan. The list become bigger and bigger. So you ask an anthropologist. There's a lot of ethnic minority group in Yunnan that overlap with Zomia. So it's kind of concern for the Communist Party and the new government, the PRC government. So Yunnan has become like a strategic location. The ROC also did their operation, and they gather intelligence about it among the ethnic minority group, trying to find establish loyalty. That part of the spying and intelligence operation. So Yunnan became a hot place for this kind of intelligence operation. Well, many returned overseas Chinese from Thailand, the Gui Xiao was sent to Yunnan to be in the PLA, Foreign Language College in Kunming, train local officer, even train the Thai ethnic and other ethnic minority group whose language are similar to Thai, to help operate in the area and to help convince those ethnic minority group that you are a part of the Chinese nation, not a separate kingdom, not within other states like Myanmar or other country. So at some point, Deng Xiaoping told these returned overseas Chinese from Thailand that there was a briefing in Beijing before they sent these people to Yunnan. Then mention, you are the hero of the nation. You will go to Yunnan to do this operation to help convince these people, the other part of the Chinese nation, the new state. And you could help protect the nation. At that moment, they were concerned and perceived as the hero of the nation. And the book on your left side, if you can read Chinese, like 从湄南河到兰长江 right? From แม่น้ำ in English and Thai, but it's mean เจ้าพระยา right? So the word แม่น้ำ historically speaking is come from Westerner who's like answer Thai. How do you call that river แม่น้ำ and they call it เจ้าพระยา it's แม่น้ำ So some people start to say, hey, it's แม่น้ำ her. It's like แม่น้ำ it's mean เจ้าพระยา Okay, from เจ้าพระยา to 兰长江 is แม่น้ำโขง but 兰长江 is แม่น้ำ 兰长 in Yunnan. So it's kind of like a memoir. It's record the life story of return overseas Chinese from Thailand who did the operation in Yunnan. Well, it's full of hope and at the same time tragedy. They were concerned that the hero of the nation, but then cultural revolution happened. Instead of the recognition that they should have because their operation, their dedication to the new Chinese nation. Because they did many operations like this, right? Exporting the revolution to the world, particularly to Thailand, and helps the CPT leader connect with the Communist Party leaders, well, interpret the thing to facilitate diplomatic relation, operation, intelligence operation, and even sometimes involved in these insurgency in Thailand because some people were saying like some Thai ethnic minority group who were trained by the return overseas Chinese from Thailand later they were saying here in Thailand. I would say not the return overseas Chinese from Thailand, or the Koi Hyo, they did not just provide knowledge for the policy and the operation. Sometimes they also engage in the operation themselves. So if you're familiar with this kind of history, right? The conventional Thai history before the Cold War end. There's Thai people who believe that the Thai originate from China and then move southward and establish the kingdom Nanjia or Nanjiao in Yunnan, Dali, and then they migrate south to present-day Thailand because the Thai had to fight with the Chinese. So this kind of history is like reflect animosity for quite a long time, and it was exploited during the Cold War. The US, USAID, and other organizations, including the CIA, use this kind of narrative to support this kind of animosity between China and Thailand. So these return overseas Chinese in Thailand, they're familiar with this kind of history. And then in Yunnan, they start to work like in Yunnan Institute of History, which later become Yunnan Academy of Social Science and Yunnan University. So these return overseas Chinese in Thailand start to translate historical material, look at how the Thai intelligence collaborate with the US intelligence in producing this kind of history to allow animosity between two nations, and then they start to produce a different narrative that the story about the history of Thai migrate south never happened. Nanjiao Kingdom was not a Thai kingdom, but it belonged to Baiju, the Bai Kingdom. So all history about animosity between the Thai and the Chinese is all fabricated story, a myth. So if we forget this kind of history that creates memory, then it can become fame. And it is these Thai studies scholars who were the Koi Hyo return overseas Chinese from Thailand, they also engage with what I call academic diplomacy. Because you have to name, for example, Siyyot, you'll find his writing in Chinese a lot because it's kind of like a pioneer scholar for the Thai study field. Because he actually, if you see his Thai name, Yanjong Jiranakon. Jiranakon is a big family in Hat Yai who found Hat Yai. So Yanyong Chilanakorn worked. He went back to China, and then he got stuck. 1949 happened. He had nowhere to go, so he decided to go to Yunnan because at the Second World War end, right, all the big university alliance has not moved swiftly back to like Beijing and Nanjing. Yunnan was still like alliance with like a lot of big university like Tsinghua, Beijing, Fudan collaborate together. So Yanyong Chilanakorn decided to go to Yunnan to study there. And after his graduation, he worked with the PLA as the intelligence officer, translating and even go to Sichong Panna, Sung Mao, and other places to do the operation. One of the operation that he was assigned. So if you know that Sichong Panna was a kingdom, right? The last king of Sichong Panna was assigned to Yanyong Chilanakorn. That he has to follow him 24 hours per day and to convince him that it is in his own good and for his own people that he collaborate with the Communist Party. So they became friends up until they passed away almost in the same year. Why it's so important to have a little overseas Chinese from Thailand who can speak Thai, right, to accord the last king of Sichong Panna. Anyone come from Nan? You know, we have Thai Lu community in Nan, right? Where's the Thai Lu come from? Sichong Panna. So when the king of Sichong Panna passed away, so the Thai Lu in community in Nan organized the ceremony to commemorate the king. Well, later, the Chinese embassy and consulate also visit those community in Nan and other places. So this is kind of story or information that really in shadow. Not many people know about it. But to study like Thailand-China relation, this shadow history need to be explored. One of the interesting thing is Yanyong Chilanakorn or Siyyuan, he has another name in his Hokkien, but people know of him with another name in Teochew with the name Jiayanjong. Some people if you like old enough work in this like a Thai study like Ajahn Yot so enough, but he's here. Will familiar with the name like Jia Yanjong and Yanyong Chilanakorn, but not with Siyyuan. So Yanyong Chilanakorn came to Thailand around early 1990 and worked in Chulalongkorn University in Chinese Studies Center and also worked for the Asia Institute in Chulalongkorn. At that moment, he did not completely reveal his history, afraid that the Thai government and Chulalongkorn would not accept him as a visiting professor because after retired from the PLA, Yanyong Chilanakorn worked for Yunnan University. So it is possible for him to become a visiting professor here in Thailand. So and he chose Chulalongkorn. So he did not reveal his part that he engaged with the PLA, gather the intelligence and other things, up until before he passed away 1 or 2 years. So the Thai academia like Anek Lao Thamatat who familiar with him and other figure like Khian Chilavis start to commemorate his contribution to Thai study and his knowledge in helping bridging Thai and Chinese academia. Then during that ceremony, Yanyong started to admit, I'm very sorry. I did not reveal this part of history that I was associated with the PLA. But that information is well known in Chinese academia, particularly in those Chinese language books that he's written. So we have these hero of the Chinese nation who contribute a lot for Thailand-China relation and to the Chinese state. But then cultural revolution happened, right? These hero of the nation then became perceived as spy because their own background. They came from overseas. They may be perceived also as a capitalist class. You see this list of the institution. Okay, of course, during the Cultural Revolution, Peking University stopped operating. Those people were sent out. Xiao Shaoyun who was the interpreter for Zhou Enlai, Deng Xiaoping, and even Liu Chengzhi. He was put in house arrest. He tried to commit suicide, but did not succeed. And then that what happened for those working in Peking University. And then we have these people who work in PLA, Foreign Language College, like Yao Yi. He was also captured and undergone public condemnation. Like a herd of people condemned him publicly as a Siamese spy who are not loyal to the party and the state. So overall, those returned overseas Chinese who engaged with Thai studies were sent to like labor camp or to reflect on their political ideology. It's not just about return overseas Chinese from Thailand. Even the Thai ethnic minority who study with these return overseas Chinese from Thailand about Thai language and society also was pushed into this kind of pressure. For example, you see this quotation by Chiang. She is actually the Thai ethnic group from Yunnan. And you see cultural revolution ruined his life. Then come to this 1975. We start to have diplomatic relationship with the People's Republic of China. But, during the Cold War is almost like 3 to 4 decades. So we cannot become a good friend, reliable friend just overnight. Like as a matter of fact, Thai politician was quite slow in adapting to new political climate. So 1975, if you calculate it into Buddhist era, plus 543, 251, and then 1976, 2519, 6 October 1976. What happened? 6 ตุลา The rightists in Thailand came to its zenith again. The massacre in Thammasat University. So in 1975, we established a diplomatic relationship with the PRC. Then later, we had a coup d'etat. The government at that time, the prime minister who was a rightist, summoned the ambassador, the Chinese ambassador, and started to lecture to him about how bad communism is. The relationship was not that smooth, and it would take time up until 3 years later. What made Thailand and China relation become smoother? Well, Vietnam start to expand its influence. Vietnam War end. The US withdrew, right? And Vietnam start to expand its influence to Cambodia, right next to the Thai border. So nowadays we have this Thailand-Cambodian conflicts, not crisis, it should be conflict, diplomatically speaking. And well, in the past, with Vietnam support at the border, the Cambodian party with Vietnam support can invade Thailand. So I'm not sure how many people been to Bangkok and then from Lumpini Park go to casino in Phoi Phet. Okay, here's the secret. So when I was undergrad in Chula, we did not have much thing to do at that moment. As like Siam Paragon and other things, like Central World was under renovation. We did not have Central Embassy and other things. So one day, those of my friends who know how to travel, they will say, well, why don't we go to Cambodia? So from Chulalongkorn, you walk to Lumpini Park. At certain corner, you wait for the van, and within 2 hours, you appear in the casino in Phoi Phet. But that's like almost 20 years ago. But what this story tells us, within 2 hours, from the center of Bangkok, you can end up in the border area. For military operation, how long would it take? From Thailand-Cambodian border, if the Vietnam force combined with the Cambodian force then wanted to invade Bangkok, less than 2 hours. Thailand and the PRC relationship was built on this ground of the changing political context in the late Cold War. And then in the late 1970s, Vietnam started to expand more influence, particularly in Laos and Cambodia. So at some moment, the Chinese side started to think Southeast Asia is a sphere of influence for China. So think about the United States. Latin America is a sphere of influence for the United States. They cannot let go, like they have to intervene, they have to manage the list. As well as China, Southeast Asia is close to China, share the border with China. So what happened in Southeast Asia also affect China. So if Vietnam start to expand its influence, that would not be good, particularly in the late Cold War. China was not in a good term with Vietnam and the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union started to support Vietnam more. So at that moment, Thailand and China came to the conclusion that we gonna support the Khmer Rouge to fight back against the Vietnamese force in Cambodia. So we have a direct flight from Beijing and other places to Bangkok, carry ammunition and weapons. And then from Bangkok and from other ports, we start to send it to the border area, to the Khmer Rouge. So if you know about this sophisticated part of the history, the shadow, so you understand Thailand-Cambodia conflict nowadays. That is not just about Thailand and Cambodia. It's engaged with major power as well. To shift from the revolution to the normalization of Thailand-China diplomatic relation. Well, we have common interests right now. Now, we need to do some diplomatic operation and intelligence operation as well together. The connection become more intense. The personnel who know more about Thai society, culture, and language become in demand. So 1970, Thai language and culture, Thai major in Chinese universities start to flourish. The dictionary that was produced in China, then later even exported to Thailand, published by Nami. So this dictionary later, if you look at it, if you kind of interested in this, I'm going on with this project, but because it's administrative job as the director of that very long integrated Center for Humanity Innovation at the Humanity Academic Service Center, I haven't finished read the dictionary yet. But here's the thing, the first edition of dictionary by Xiao and his friend, and then the second edition, dictionary has to be updated, otherwise cannot catch up with the language, right? So one other thing, if you look at the first edition, second edition, and even now the third edition, look at certain words. For example, ประชาธิปไตย democracy, how they translate it into Chinese, and how they use example, like you go for the Oxford in the dictionary, you know that they give you the definition and then example. Kind of interesting when I look at just one word, democracy, how they translate it into Chinese and how they provide sample over time is different. First edition, democracy means socialist democracy. Second edition, around the late 1990, democracy, and then they use the example what happening in Thailand at that moment, ประชาธิปไตยครึ่งใบ. So it tells a lot about how China perceived Thailand over time and how the Chinese scholar perceived Thai politics, because this dictionary would be used in diplomatic operation as well. Right. To train diplomatic official, how you know about things, how you should talk with Thai people, engage with negotiation, so on and so forth. Now today, fast forward to the present. This is a reopening of this new research institute, and well, those universities like Jinan, Xiamen University, and even Suwunnasin University started to engage more with Thai study, because these are the base producing knowledge for formulating policy. And if you look at those professor background in China, some professors, they are not just a mere professor. They used to work for the ministry or sometimes for the party as well. This conclusion. If you want to understand Thai study in China nowadays, it is unavoidable to explore what happened during the Cold War. The story of these return overseas Chinese in Thailand, how they engage with Thai study during the Cold War, is actually silenced, both by the Chinese state, because they don't want this kind of story to be revealed. How signify? It may be signify that, okay, this is this operation in the past that can be proven. So it might change people, or it might be utilized to use against China nowadays that Chinese state do this kind of operation, intervene in Thailand, Thai sovereignty. Well, if you look at area study in China nowadays, the topic that those area study scholar initiate or do the research, it is mostly navigated by the state. Sometimes it's come because of self-censorship, because you don't want to engage with a certain topic that would bring you certain kind of problem. And for Thailand, for Thai state, nowadays you see like a prime minister like Anutin speaking in Chinese, right? And you see a lot of people think about the cordial relationship between Thailand and China. Last year is like 50 years of diplomatic relationship. So no one talk about this return overseas Chinese from Thailand, how they operate and work at that time during the Cold War. From my perspective, I would not say that this is a kind of the thing that we should avoid. On the contrary, I think we should explore this, because I'll use it two words. They were the bridge connecting Thailand and China. Without their contribution, China would not know that much about Thailand. And to review this part of history, it's kind of a connection that brought back a history between Thailand and China that is continued even during the vacuum, during the Cold War, that we did not think that there is a kind of connection that happened. Even the connection with the CPT, that was a good thing. At a certain moment, CPT was a hope. The communist movement in Thailand was a hope for the youth, for those student leaders and activists. So why not start to explore this history? And from Thai perspective, I would say, to understand more about how China perceives Thailand, we cannot avoid following this part of history, because these people in this time, the Cold War period, they established the foundation for Thai study in China. The knowledge that they produced became a classic, a stepping stone to understand Thailand and its shape, even the present knowledge. So, for example, as I mentioned, dictionary. And if you look at the life of these people and the knowledge that they produce, it tells us a lot about Thailand and the People's Republic of China relation in a friendly way. But it seems we don't explore this. To use Thongchai Vinichakun word, the history of these people and this event that happened is marginalized. It is a kind of history at the interstice that needs to be explored.
And that's all for the seminar. We are really sorry for can't attach the video clip into this video. However, we are really thank you to Assistant Professor Sittithep Eaksittipong for being our guest. See you again in the next episode. Goodbye for now.